Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is surgery C here? Why is surgery A and B here as well? Hey guys, and welcome back to the Town of Light. We are here where it all started. Osservazione, which means observation ward. See, I can speak Italian, told you. And we're not scared at all. It's definitely not pitch black here. These headphones aren't making everything very spooky in my ears. This is reminding me of the Max Payne dream sequence. Just with no crying babies. Leap of faith? No. Oh. Okay, didn't expect that. This is fine. Just keep swimming. I can't turn and look behind me either. So we across from the... No, we went forward and forward, so we're, like, going backwards and below where we were? Or am I just thinking far too much about this? Probably. I'm guessing we're now in the child's perspective. Everything seems a lot bigger. In fact, it's getting bigger as we go, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. These beds are looking mighty strange. Maybe they're Slenderman beds. Slender children?
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 years old, and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I couldn't speak. I was terrified of everything, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist. She was my only hope in this hell. I was descending down, down among the damned. But that woman and her smile kept me alive.
Okay, seems like we're definitely one and the same. Our character and
The
the
door
girl.
is locked from the outside.
Ah. That's handy.
Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside.
What about the wood? Okay. Let's go the other way, huh? That's a bit. They're all locked.
You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave this place.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I guess that means that the worst case... Oh god, it's dark. Hello, second creepy doll. Oh, okay. Clearing control. Bloody hell. Oh, don't take away our dolly, you prick. I'm getting some deep 12 Monkeys vibes here.
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all over me. It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renee obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me. They said there was something growing inside, and they wanted to drag it out of me.
Let's leave that behind. I'll go back and check for notes. I forgot to look. No, nothing here. Okay. Probably just as well. Nothing here. Oh, shit, right. Okay, so it's daytime again. So I suppose this is kind of like Hellblade, in the way of, is what our character's seeing literally true, or is that the unreliable narrator coming into play? Like, is time actually changing, or is that the whole theme of light and dark which is emerging? So, given the choice, I wouldn't like to sleep here. I mean, I've not even seen a single mattress yet. Oh. Scratch my last, never mind. I've not seen a big fluffy unicorn yet. Ooh. It's been added to the menu, why hasn't it just come up? So, look at this. A few days since I recorded the first episode, so I'm just forgetting where everything is.
He felt accused, hurt. I chased him away. I insulted him. He was proud, handsome. He said things about me to other people, which he shouldn't have said. Mother caught me coming home drunk. She beat me and sent me to speak to Don Gino every day. He came back and tried to speak to me. I think he liked me. Sometimes I sent him packing and I started shouting at him, but other times I embraced him. I held him tight and loved him. But he couldn't bind himself to me. I was 16 and ill. I had no future. I didn't get out of bed for weeks. Then I did things I was ashamed of. I slept with men. The guilt tore at my soul, and the light came back to torture me. I invented stories to justify my actions. I couldn't bear my own weight. Mom found out about it. Her voice split my head. I pushed her away because I was afraid of dying, and I shouted to the whole world what was happening to me and that I didn't understand. The police arrived and they carted me away. I remember the onlookers shaking their heads. They would be better off without me, cleansed of shame, with something to talk about for a while.
Okay. Seems like there's something going on, some sort of trauma or mental illness existing. And then she's just being shunned by the community. Dear Director, Stan, I've been working at this institution for 5 years now. I'm a simple person, I'm not educated, and I feel embarrassed about writing to you. I always try to look on the bright side, but sometimes we are called upon to do difficult things. That's our duty, and I well understand and accept it. There's no alternative. However, I've decided to write to you because something is happening which is simply unacceptable. I am well aware that there is someone among us who devotes too much attention to the younger female patients who are confused. The serious nature of this fact has compelled me to write to you. I am certain of your indignation and of the measures you will adopt to solve the problem. Please accept my warmest regards and respect. This doesn't have a date. So they knew about it. Surprise, surprise. And closed ranks, and I bet the person who wrote that letter got promptly kicked out. Not that I'm cynical and jumping to conclusions or anything. Let's see. S. Girolamo Psychiatric Hospital in Voltaire, School for Nurses. According to Article 24 of the August 16, 1909, #616 Regulation for the Implementation of the February 14, 1904 N.36 SI Law on Insane Asylums and Patients to present, Certificate of Suitability for Asylum Nurse is issued to name and surname who has an exams taken on date. Oh, right, okay. Sorry, I thought that these were names. Manchin and Lucio. Oh yeah, it does have a date. 12th of Maggio, is that March? 1929. So Marcheri, Lucio. But 28 out of 30 on his exam. Okay. So why is that one on the wall? Where is it? Ah, there we go. Andy director. Okay, no, that doesn't have a name. Okay. But, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for this guy. Manchese Lucio. Whose name I'm probably butchering, but fuck it. Like, I don't know if any of this stuff is just environmental storytelling, or if it's prescient, germane to the plot. Shit, that's annoying. I know what word I'm trying to think of, but I can't think it up.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
Oh, that's the thing. We're talking about Renee in the third person, so perhaps that's not us. Which would also make sense, because this is... Was this 2016? Or was it 2006? Either way, it's like 60 to 70 years after the event. So if we are Renee, then we must be, what, 76? Or, no, between 80 and 90, I think. Oh, that's plausible, by the way, I'm rambling on. Oh, Documento. Voltaire, 12th of April, 26. Irene E. in K. 26 years. The woman is in a state of great agitation. She curses her 3-year-old daughter for having ruined her life. She wanted to take us away, that damned kid. Wanted to kill... Wait, did we read this one already? She's the devil, I tell you. The devil herself. She said that already. Left her sister in silence. Her husband, Eric K., worried about her daughter. Potential daughter... yes, social class, most appropriate choice. Yes, we have read this before, haven't we? So, Irene K. was 26, so in 1926, so she was born in 1900. So Eric and Irene, they have the daughter, whose name I'm sure was mentioned in an earlier document. Where the hell are we
They
going?
went to the gynecology ward on the upper floor.
Oh, gynecology. It's on the upper floor, so we need to go up there to get a map, don't we? I knew that. Okay. I don't think... No, we don't have letters and things in our diary. Gynecology 4. Oh, that's right next to us. Gynecologia. Oh, has that got subtitles for more than that in the Italian? Ah, okay. That could be handy. Okay. Hope YouTube doesn't censor these images. Does that say Sotto in Italia? Okay. Yes, I know we went to gynecology. We're in gynecology. Oh, right. This isn't creepy. Oh, even slightly.
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I'm referring a patient to you, Renee T. This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy. and that the illness was all in her head. Careful, little girl, careful. I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I'm writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
Okay. I think we've read this before. Valenti Clemente, age 37, date of admission 1937. Right, well, that changes things. If that note's from 1928, and they're sort of just discovering that Renee is pregnant, then I guess that means that she came here in sort of mid-1928, which is like 14 years earlier than I thought. So that's 78 to 88 years ago.
The doctor who wrote things down was in Surgery C.
Right, so I guess that's back upstairs. So, like, I don't know if I'm missing something super obvious, but the last couple of things, I've not really known where to go. Surgery 7. That's right at the end. Like, did that thing about the doctor who writes things down? Did they mention Surgery C? And this is locked. That's not good. Is there a roundabout way to get there? Right. So we can't get into 6. So we want to go through there. There's a ladder. That looks handy. Let's give that a blast. Can he climb out there? Okay. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any actual puzzles, or if it's just going to be about pathfinding and finding the right place and interacting with the right stuffs. I'm definitely liking it so far. The atmosphere is there. And, you know, it's already got us all gloomy. That's exactly what we're all wanting, isn't it? No, don't be locked. I need to go out there. Okay, I found a diary, so maybe this will help.
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a difference. November 20th. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors...
Yeah, okay. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women.
The overpowering stench in the wards, the constant din of shouts and voices that are barely recognizable as human, dirty, naked bodies devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum gets under your skin and wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless, impotent, a sort of merciful jailer, a mercy that helps no one and only helps to ease my conscience. March 15th, 1938. Dramas are played out before my eyes every single day, and I try to distance myself from them and just do the best I can. But a girl arrived some days ago. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her dignified silence was not to be ripped away from her world. And me. I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I, too, refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and consign her to hell. A danger to herself and to others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from the police headquarters. It was difficult not to agree with it. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should be the joyous hallmark of her age. I cried myself to sleep in my solitude. I kept thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me.
Okay, that took me a bit to understand. I thought that was a female doctor, that's our character reading the male doctor's diary, I guess. Interesting. Oh, okay, right. More diary pages. Way back to the start.
My name is Renee. They told me that I have to write this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl, and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No. I did things that, when I think about them now, eventually brought me here.
Okay.
Everything started with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was still a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school when suddenly the noise started to melt into an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything lost its meaning. I could no longer recognize anything. Objects, people, words, not even myself.
Try to see where these notes are that are in the subtitles. See, don't stare at me there. At the bottom right. Huh, odd.
I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. After God knows how long, everything went back to normal. But a new fear replaced the old one. Different but terrible. Of the light coming back. And it did come back.
Okay, now we've read that. Tell us about doll. I'm now going back to find a way upstairs again. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is surgery C here? Why is surgery A and B here as well? Two surgeries. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh well. Let's just pretend that never happened, eh? Surgery C. Fluido Dugundialia. Might have to look up what that means.
March 12th, 1938. Renee T., 16 years old. Menstruation at age 12. Housewife. Father unknown. Mother a seamstress. Admitted in observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for a psychiatric evaluation, which I have carried out. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she had tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We can't read this document. It is forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there will be trouble.
Oh, choices. Talks about Renee. It talks about you, so we have to... So we are Renee. This is... Okay, right. So we have to? Don't be scared. So they're both reading it, and that's true, so, don't be scared. Nothing will happen.
We have to look for Amara. We must hurry. We have to follow the memories and make sure they don't fade.
Go on.
She is frightened, hears noises and ghosts, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, her expression is distressed, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand things properly. She has been feeling unwell for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. I am always scared of her. She chases me." "Why are you here?" "I argued with my mother and was so upset that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children whispered, called my name." March 16th. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. April 4th. Transferred to the calm ward, still under my supervision. "Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renee. She had to pay for what she'd done, like witches at the stake."
Okay, so... This is interesting. We can ask questions, or we can just say... We can just dismiss the whole lot. So let's, not assume anything. Let's just ask.
So many things frightened me. The system I lived in was built on fear and light. There was no mercy or understanding in the town of light.
This is actually a kind of a tough choice. Should we try and be comforting, or rather comforting B, or should we try and do the snap them out of it? Let's be nice. Oh, interesting. I'm at the
April
crossroad.
21st. She's more awake this morning and is responding to questions, complains of headaches. She became agitated when she found out her mother was there. She says that one day, many years earlier, she was with a friend of hers and met a man who made her get into a car and took her for a ride. He made her smoke cigarettes and drink liquor, and the man showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep what had happened a secret. These facts were essentially confirmed by her mother. After that, she became arrogant, impatient, and hostile towards her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public. Her moods would swing from laughter to tears. She rants. She pleasures herself. I can't remember these things, only the guilt, the stake. I know I deserved to pay for that guilt. I knew it even then.
I don't really want to read any more of this, but I guess we have to. Everything will become clear.
Amara, she was good. Let's look for her. What else can we do?
Go on. Oh, right. Okay. Right, well this suddenly got very interesting. I wonder what these mean. I think we got these first two symbols popping up there. What's the difference between the first one? Or maybe these are how things are going? How our choices are... Damn, I don't know. It's like... I'm looking between them now, trying to decide. It looks like this one, it's a person and group. They're the same. This is one person turning away from a rejected group, maybe? This one's a single person looking at a smaller group. And this is the person turning away, but they're the one that's rejected. Interesting. Yeah, we saw that bottle. Yeah, this, wow. That was quite an interesting half an hour. Apart from me getting lost, but that was just a bit of a failure to geography, I guess. Jinx. But we're going to have to end it now, because we've been playing for quite a while, and it's time to So thank you so much for watching this part of Let's Play The Town of Light. I've certainly enjoyed playing it. If you like what you've seen, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, sub to the channel, share the video, that helps out a whole lot, and be sure to tune in next time. See you then.